everybody. This was not the video I planned to make. That's kind of the theme this week, 2 out of the 3. Anyway, but this is a video that hopefully none of you will ever need to refer to, but just in case it's out there. So I unexpectedly had to rush Shane to the hospital last week, and you know, it's a parent's worst nightmare. It's anyone's worst nightmare to have to race to the hospital. Obviously, sometimes going to the hospital is a planned thing, and maybe some of these suggestions that I'm about to give you will be helpful then. Maybe you're planning on having a baby, which is a happy time. Maybe it's just a standard procedure that you need to go, something routine that you need to stay overnight for. And it's not anything that's scary. But you know, most of the time when you go to the hospital, it's not for anything particularly positive. But you know, your mind is usually racing. It's usually not something expected. And you have just a little bit of time to throw some stuff in a bag and get your loved one to the hospital. So I will go into more detail about how Shane ended up in the hospital and what led up to all that and what's going on with him on Sunday in place of Sunday's vlog, since I didn't vlog for that week that he was there. So if all of you want to get more details and find out what's going on with him, that's going to happen on Sunday. Today's video is all about the things that the staples that got me through the week. I'm going to be selfish and talk about me. And because all of Shane's needs were met at the hospital, you know, he's the focus and all that. So everything revolved around Shane. But these are the things that I took along or that I went back home and picked up that got me through the week because I lived there with Shane. As a parent of a minor, I was allowed to sleep there. Michael could have slept there. There's only room for one parent in the room. Shane had his own room. We were very lucky to do that. But Shane wanted his mommy there at night, so I was the lucky one. I got to sleep there. So other than going home for maybe an hour once a day to kind of maybe shower, see the dogs, get another change of clothes, I was really there for about 22 hours or so a day. So that's a lot of talking. Let's jump into some of the things. So let's talk about what I have on right now. I actually wore this for a couple of days. This is a very lightweight sweatshirt. You've seen this before in another color in the, I think it's called Orchid. This is the Cast-On sweatshirt. I picked this up from Nordstrom earlier this summer, and I just picked up another one, this one that you're seeing here. It comes in a few other shades. Might have to go get more of them before the season is over. It is usually pretty chilly in a hospital, and you just want to be comfortable. This isn't about looking good or being fashionable, although these are, I think, pretty darn cute. I wore a lot of like jeggings and leggings kind of things because to me that's what I'm comfortable in, and it's just a very nice, loose, lightweight sweatshirt that kept me comfortable and slightly warm but not too warm. But when I did get cold, the next thing I want to show you, which it's just the best thing ever invented, and everyone needs to go out and get one of these immediately. This is, I'm just going to hold it up and then maybe I'll try to insert a picture of it from somewhere. This is the barefoot cardigan. Oh, this is like taking your blankie with you. So this is the barefoot circle cardigan. I think it's called Barefoot Dreams circle cardigan. I took this with me when we left to go to the hospital. I knew I was not leaving the house without this. Literally, it's like your security blanket that you take with you. It's so comforting. Like I said, it does get cold in the hospital. I use this as just, you know, walking around the hospital, hanging out in the hospital room. It has pockets so I could keep my cell phone with me if I had to run down to the cafeteria. Kept my phone with me, my little wallet with me in my pocket. I use this as a robe in the hospital room. It's so soft and cozy. You can lean on it. It's very versatile. It does come in other colors. I particularly like the navy. I think it goes with everything. It's a staple. I didn't think it would be a hospital staple, but it's a wonderful thing to have and definitely worth the investment. It makes a great gift. It's a rather expensive gift for someone who's staying in a hospital, but it is a great gift as well. I gave it to my sister-in-law for her birthday this year. Another wardrobe item that I also just recently picked up, not thinking it would come in handy when we were in the hospital because we didn't know we were going, a nice pair of slippers. So I have wanted these for years. These are the UGG slippers, the slip-on kind or the kind I prefer. They have a nice hardy, are they dirty? No, a nice hardy sole. So what I like about these is they kind of double as shoes. So, you know, most of the time I was sitting in the hospital bed with, not in the bed with Shane, but in my bed in the hospital room with Shane. So I didn't want to have like my shoes on when I was laying in our chair / bed. So I would kick these off and just hang out. But, you know, whenever somebody came in the room or we wanted to walk around or I wanted to walk in the room, I didn't want to be barefoot in there. So these were nice and handy to slip on, and they're nice and lined and warm and cozy. I didn't really leave the room so much. Like I walked the hall with these. I did switch to real shoes when we left the floor to go down to the cafeteria or walk around. But these are very nice. They do come in other colors. I like the classic, whatever you would call this, tan shade. There's something about the sheepskin. I don't know what it is. They keep your feet warm, but not too warm. Sometimes my feet get sweaty, but not in these. They were fabulous. Let's stick with the fashion and beauty portion of the hospital stay. So something I've never done before in my life. I went almost an entire week with virtually no makeup on. My friend Mallory, thank you Mallory, came and took me to the hospital with Shane. It just so happened that when this all went down, Michael was visiting Jake at school in Mississippi. So he was 600 miles away. I got the phone call in the morning to take Shane to the hospital, and I just kind of froze. I didn't know what to do. I texted my friend and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, I'm walking in circles. And she said, "All right, I'm coming over. I'm getting you to the hospital." So I hadn't even put on makeup yet that morning, and I never really did. I did throw a couple things in my bag, and I'm glad that I did. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna mention, of course I forgot, I'm still not on my A game, guys. I'm sorry, we're just back from the hospital and haven't quite caught up on all my sleep yet. But the first thing I did throw in my bag was my MAC Prep and Prime in Radiant Rose. You've heard me talk about this for years. I just slapped that on. I did bring moisturizer. I brought my Colleen Rothschild Sheer Renewal Cream. I put that on every morning. I slapped on my Radiant Rose under eye, patted that in with my fingers. That was pretty much the extent of my makeup routine. Sometimes, if I knew someone was coming by to visit, the other thing I would pat on was this. This is the Clarins Instant, what is this? Instant Concealer in the shade 01. It is a very, very lightweight concealer, and you can sheer it out or blend it out very easily. So I'd pat a little bit under here, and if there was any kind of just to make me feel like less like I'd been hit by a truck. I did a little bit on my chin, a little pigmentation here. That was pretty much it. That was the extent of my beauty routine. And then if I felt like really glamming myself up, this was it. The Clarins Instant Light Lip Perfector in the shade 01, which I think is Rose. It doesn't have the names, it just has numbers here. That's why I always refer to them by numbers. 01, very moisturizing. I'll slap a little bit on right now over what I have on. I have on the new Clarins Matte Liquid Lip Pop, by the way. This just has a nice, lovely, fruity, vanilla-y smell. It's moisturizing, a tiniest little bit of color to it. But what I really kept on my lips, it's very drying in the hospital. It's all that recirculated air. I just kept this right next to me all the time. It's the Erin, I live by this and I still don't know what it is. The Erin Rose Lip Conditioner. I've had this for a while and I use it constantly, and it's like, it's a magic tube. It's getting to the end, but I don't think it's ever really gonna be empty. It just keeps refilling itself. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't refill itself, but it feels like it's never gonna be used up. There wasn't a lot going on with showering per se, particularly with Shane. Shane was hooked up to an IV the whole time pretty much, so no showering for Shane. They had these big body wipe things he could freshen up with. He wasn't really interested in that very much, but towards the end it was sort of forced on him for everyone that needed to be around him. But what we did, and that he did want to do, was something with his hair. Shane's really into his hair. He's gonna kill me. The dry shampoo that saved the day for everybody, including me, was this one, the Aveda Shampure. I've talked about this before, and what's great about this one is it really soaks up oil. Some dry shampoos are great for volume or, well, volume. This one does it the trick for volume, but what it really does is soak up oil. And all you do is squeeze. My hair could use a little dry shampoo, but I didn't bother. You just squeeze it in. Let's do it right now. Let's do a demo. Look at that. It smells so clean. You let it sit for just a little bit and then you just start rubbing in it. Now Shane's hair is much darker than mine, even my natural color. And once you rub it in, you cannot see it at all. And Shane's hair, I have to say, looked amazing his whole stay. So thank you, Aveda Dry Shampoo. You saved the day. Hey, looks much better. Look at that. So that was that. I didn't really do much as far as washing my face. Like my whole face routine just out the window. The only thing Shane and I did was I brought these face wipes along. These are from Clinique. They are the Pep Start Quick Cleansing Wipes. I know that Clinique, pretty much everything made by Clinique is hypoallergenic. Nothing they make irritates my skin, so I knew this would be safe to bring along. And I didn't really have any makeup on or anything, so I didn't need anything heavy duty. Shane used this on his face as well. This was great. And then the only other like beauty type skincare thing I brought, like I had mentioned, it was really dry in there, was I brought along my Rhodial Dragon's Blood Hyaluronic Tonic for a face spray. I'm almost out. This is the travel size. They have a much bigger size available at Nordstrom. And the reason I brought this face spray is not only is it kind of wakes you up, which I needed because nobody sleeps well in a hospital, it does have hyaluronic acid in it, so it has moisturizing. It has hyaluronic acid and vitamin B3, so it has a little bit of a moisturizer property to it. So it says, I felt moisturized, so there you go. So those are the like beauty fashion type things. Couple of other key things that I think you need to bring along. If you have, I have a mini iPad here, and basically I use this as a Kindle. I have a Kindle app on here. They had free Wi-Fi at really good Wi-Fi actually at the hospital. I downloaded about 7 books while I was there. I'm not even kidding you. I think I read 7 books. A lot of downtime, a lot of waiting around. So thank God for Wi-Fi and Amazon gift cards and access to my library's website. And highly recommend this. I have a 10-foot long power cord for said iPad. Cannot live without the extra long cord. And probably the most important thing, I know I'm being a little lighthearted and joking around here. This was of course very serious and it still is serious, but most important thing I managed to remember to bring with me when I left the house was a notebook. This one happens to be from Erin Condren. I did buy this, she did not send it to me. But Erin, if you're watching, feel free to send me anything you'd like. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, you get overwhelmed when you're in a situation like this, and a lot of people come in and out of your hospital room between doctors, nurses, techs, just random people. There's a lot of people throwing a lot of information at you. A lot of stuff is happening. It can be really overwhelming. Like I said, Michael wasn't there for the first day. Getting home, you know, it's a 12-hour drive. So I made sure I had a pen and a notebook, and I was writing down names. I was writing down just like everything. I didn't care if people thought I was crazy. I would tell them to stop, hang on, let me write that down. I would ask them to repeat things. I would ask them to spell their name. It did come in handy. Luckily, nobody was offended or thought I was nuts. And you need to remember that when you're in a hospital situation, especially if you're there as a parent, you are there as an advocate for your child, and you are not there to make friends. So you got to do what you need to do, and writing down all the information that comes at you a million miles an hour is the most important. It's more important than remembering your cozy cardigan or your face spray. So those were the most important things that got me through this last week. As far as like physical important things, of course, the most important thing is for the love of my family, my friends, our faith, your faith, and support. And I'm gonna start to cry. So we're gonna stop this now and keep it light and happy. Thank you so much for all the kindness that you've sent our way. Like I said, I'm gonna address all that on Sunday's vlog. I just wanted to get this one out there. God forbid any of you need this information. Now it's out in the world. And let me know if any of this was helpful. If you have any tips for anybody watching, put it in the comments below. Let's everybody help each other out. We're a big community here. Let's take advantage of that. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. One of the first things I ordered is this. This is the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Soft Luminous Foundation. Many of you recommended this,